There will come a time when life won't just whisper pain to you. It'll scream. When your world feels like it's collapsing and everything you believed in is shaking at the foundation. It's not a question of if the storm comes. It's a matter of when. Let me tell you something. You are stronger than your struggle. But you've got to learn how to rise. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I know what it feels like to be in the dark, where there's no light at the end of the tunnel. But here's what I learned. Sometimes you are the light when life throws its worst at you. Betrayal, heartbreak, sickness, financial devastation, grief. You have two choices: breakdown or breakthrough. Don't run from the pain. Feel it. Face it. Then FGHT through it. Because that pain, that's fuel. That's fire. That's your training ground. Don't waste your pain. Use it to build something the world has never seen. You weren't meant to stay broken. You were meant to bend, to crack, to shake, and still stand. You don't need all the answers. You just need a reason to keep going. And let me remind you, you are the reason. Your story is not over. Not if you're still breathing. Not if your heart is still beating. This isn't your end. It's your comeback. Let's be real. No one escapes adversity. Life doesn't ask for your permission before it flips your world upside down. One day, you're stable, hopeful, even comfortable. And the next, you're hit with a diagnosis, a betrayal, a loss, a mistake that costs you everything. Challenges don't discriminate. They visit the strong and the weak, the rich and the poor, the prepared and the unprepared. The question is never if you will face adversity. The question is, what will you do when it knocks on your door? The truth is, most people are trained to fear hardship. We're taught to avoid failure, pain, and uncertainty like a plague. But here's the real deal. Adversity is not your enemy. It's your teacher, your mirror, your forge. It's what introduces you to a part of yourself you didn't even know existed. You don't really know your own power until you've been pushed to your knees and had to crawl back to your feet. 1 inch at a time, with no applause, no help, no spotlight. That's where power is born. And make no mistake, you've got power in you that hasn't even been tapped yet. You were built with resilience in your DNA. It's not something you buy, it's something you uncover. The pain you face reveals the warrior you are. It doesn't matter how many degrees you have, what your resume says, or how many followers you've got. Life will test the core of who you are. And when it does, it won't be your comfort that gets you through it. It'll be your character, your grit, your decision to fight forward. So when adversity hits, and it will, don't ask, why me? Ask, What now? Don't shrink. Don't retreat into silence or shame. Instead, tap into that deep well inside of you, that inner fire, that buried strength waiting to be activated. You were not born to surrender. You were born to stand, even if your legs are shaking. Your power is real. Your power is ready. But it only shows up when adversity demands it. We live in a world that teaches us to hide our pain. Stay strong, they say. Don't cry. Don't show weakness. Move on. But that's not strength. That's emotional suffocation. Real strength isn't denying what you feel. It's being brave enough to face it head on. You cannot heal what you refuse to confront. You can't grow from pain. That's locked away in the basement of your soul. The longer you suppress it, the deeper it buries itself, and buried pain doesn't die. It festers. It multiplies. It sabotages your future in silence. Pain is not your enemy. It's your messenger. It's trying to get your attention. It's telling you something broke, something hurt, something mattered. When you numb yourself, you're not escaping the pain. You're just delaying the healing. And the truth is, feeling pain doesn't make you broken. It makes you human. It means your heart still works. It means you cared deeply. You dreamed boldly. You risked something real. That's not weakness. That's evidence of life. You've got to sit with your pain long enough to understand it, but not so long that it defines you. Cry if you have to. Scream if you must. Journal the chaos out of your mind. Speak the truth out loud, even if your voice shakes. That's not falling apart. That's rebuilding in progress. The world may rush you to get over it, but listen closely. There is no set timeline for healing. You move forward at the speed of truth, not pressure. And healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means learning to breathe again, even with the scar. When you allow yourself to feel, something powerful begins to happen. You stop being a prisoner of your past and start becoming the author of your comeback. Your tears water the soil of new strength. Your breakdowns carve the space for your breakthroughs. Don't run from the emotion. Don't distract yourself with noise. Be still. Be honest. Be raw. Because in that rawness, you'll find revelation. And in that revelation, you'll find your rise. Pain is not random. It may feel cruel, it may seem senseless, but buried inside the most painful moments of your life is a deeper reason. A calling, a lesson, a transformation. Most people get hurt and think the only goal is to survive it. But survival is just the beginning. The real goal is to find the meaning in the mess. Every scar you carry is a sign that you lived through something meant to break you and came out with a story someone else needs to hear. Your pain carries power, not just to heal you, but to heal others. There are some things you can only learn in the fire. No book, no podcast, no mentor can teach you what suffering teaches you. Pain rewires you. It strips away the surface level nonsense and gets to the truth of who you really are. It deepens your empathy, sharpens your focus, and awakens your sense of mission. What hurt you once might be the very thing that helps someone else one day. And that's where purpose is born. In the recycling of suffering into service, in turning wounds into wisdom, and trauma into testimony. Think about the people who have made the biggest difference in your life. They didn't do it by being perfect. They did it by being real. They went through something, and they turned that pain into a message. You can do the same. That heartbreak, that loss, that setback that had you doubting everything. It wasn't meant to destroy you. It was sent to develop you. The very thing you're trying to forget might be the exact thing you're supposed to use. Not to stay stuck in the past, but to bring meaning to it. You've got to stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what is this trying to awaken in me? Because when you look back, not with bitterness, but with clarity, you'll see something amazing. You'll realize that pain didn't come to punish you. It came to prepare you for more purpose, for deeper love, for greater strength. The storm you thought would drown you is the same one that gave you your voice. Don't waste the pain. Let it push you into becoming the person you were born to be. When everything around you falls apart, it's easy to start looking outward. For rescue, for answers, for someone to come and fix it all. But the harsh truth is this: no one is coming. And while that sounds brutal, it's also where your greatest power begins. Because the moment you stop waiting to be saved and decide to save yourself, that's the moment you activate a force inside you that's been waiting in silence. In the middle of your darkest night, you don't need more light from the outside. You need to realize you are the light. You don't need someone else to validate your value or a perfect situation to give you hope. Hope is not something you're given. It's something you generate. And some of the most powerful, inspiring people you've ever heard of didn't find the light. They became it. Not because they had all the answers, but because they made a choice. They stood in the rubble of everything that went wrong and said, I'm not finished. That decision to keep standing when every reason says you shouldn't, that's light. That's leadership. That's legacy. When you've been through the fire, when you've walked through loss, loneliness, and betrayal, and still choose to wake up and believe in your future, you become unstoppable. You become a mirror for others, a signal that says, if I can survive this, so can you. That kind of light doesn't come from comfort, it comes from chaos. It's born in heartbreak and pressure and silence. It's shaped in the nights where no one is watching, no one is cheering, and still, you rise anyway. Too many people wait for permission to shine. They wait for someone to notice their worth, to give them a title, a role, a reason to speak up. But the truth is, your light isn't waiting on anyone's approval. You don't need the spotlight. You are the spotlight. You bring strength into rooms just by walking in. You carry light in the way you show up, the way you keep going, the way you love after loss and believe after being broken. Don't underestimate that, because in a world full of darkness, confusion, and fear, you just being you might be the miracle someone else is praying for. There will come a moment when you feel like you can't take it anymore. The pressure will feel unbearable, the weight on your shoulders too heavy to carry, and your mind will whisper, "Just quit." No one would blame you. And it's in that exact moment you must make a decision that defines your destiny. Will you break down, or will you break through? Because breakdown is easy. It's giving in to the pain, giving power to fear, surrendering your future to temporary emotions. But breakthrough, that takes fight. That takes fire. That takes choosing to believe in something, even when nothing around you makes sense. You have to understand that breakdowns are not the end. They're the doorway to the next level of your life. When you feel like everything is falling apart, that's often when things are falling into place. But only if you keep moving. You weren't built to collapse under pressure. You were built to convert it into power. Every breakdown carries a secret code, a lesson, a gift, a push forward. But most people never find it because they give up too early. Don't be one of them. Your breakthrough doesn't come after the pain. It comes through it. You can cry. You can pause. You can scream if you need to. But you don't quit. Quitting is not your story. You've come too far, lived through too much, overcome too many odds to turn back now. There's a version of you on the other side of this pain that is wiser, stronger, freer. But they only exist if you decide to keep going. No one breaks through by being comfortable. No one rises by playing small. You've got to walk straight into the discomfort and declare, "I'm not breaking down. I'm breaking through." And the truth is, the moment you feel like you're falling apart is often the moment you're being rebuilt into something greater. What if the chaos you're facing isn't your collapse, but your construction? What if all the pressure isn't meant to destroy you, but to stretch you into someone you've never been before? That's what breakthrough feels like. Messy, painful, confusing, but necessary. You don't need to be perfect to keep going. You just need to be persistent. The breakdown is loud, but the breakthrough is life-changing. There's a version of you on the other side of the storm that you haven't even met yet. And that version is stronger, smarter, and more unstoppable than the one who started this fight. Your setback may have knocked the wind out of you, taken your confidence, maybe even your direction, but it did not take your future. Setbacks are not signs to give up. They are setups for your comeback, for your elevation, for your evolution. Everything you lost can be replaced. Everything that broke can be rebuilt. But you must believe, even while you're bleeding, that this isn't how your story ends. People love to talk about the glory of a comeback, but few talk about the grind behind it. The days where you're doubting yourself, questioning everything, pushing forward, even when nothing seems to be changing. Those are the moments where the comeback is being written. And let's be real. Your comeback isn't just about getting back to where you were. It's about going beyond it. Going higher than you thought you could go. Becoming someone you didn't even know you were capable of becoming. This pain is not just recovery. It's reinvention. You may feel like everything was taken from you, but what you've gained in this process, perspective, resilience, clarity, is worth more than what was lost. You now carry the kind of wisdom you can't learn in a classroom or a book. That kind of strength only comes from surviving what most people would have collapsed under. Your scars aren't signs of weakness. They're proof you were built to rise. This comeback you're crafting, it's not about returning to who you were. It's about revealing who you really are. And don't think for a second that your comeback has to look pretty. It won't. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. It'll stretch you in ways you never expected. But let me tell you something. There's someone out there watching you rise who's gaining strength from your survival. Someone is watching you take that first step back up and thinking, if they can do it, maybe I can too. Your comeback is not just personal, it's powerful. It's proof that what tried to bury you didn't know you were a seed. Keep rising. Keep building. Your story isn't finished. It's just getting good. So if life has knocked you down, if you're crawling through the fire, fighting silent battles, smiling through scars, this is your reminder. You are still here. And as long as you're here, your story isn't over. You may have lost some things, some people, maybe even a piece of yourself. But you haven't lost your will. You haven't lost your purpose. And you damn sure haven't lost your power. Everything you've been through didn't come to destroy you. It came to reveal you, to shake the fear off your soul. to pull the strength out of your bones, to strip away the old so the new could be born. Now stand up, not because it's easy, not because you have it all figured out, but because you've made it through everything they said would break you. And you're still standing. This is your time. This is your turning point. And this is the beginning of your comeback.